What's going on, guys? You're not here to see me, so come on. Let's give it up for the guy you're really here to see. Let's get it going. Come on, start clapping right now. Don't be weird. He's the host of Inside of You. He's also Lex Luthor on Smallville. Michael Rosenbaum, everybody.
I can't stand under fly. I'm not that naive. I'm more than a bird. I'm more than a play. Come on!
More than some silly face.
Inside there's something, and it's not easy to be
Michael Rosenbaum.
It's not easy being me. How's everybody doing? All right, there's a throuple over there. We got a throuple here, everybody. This is a good con when you have a throuple.
An actual throuple. Oh
Yeah, they're a throuple.
Man.
Now let me ask you, with a throuple, does one get jealous of the other? With attention, you're like, oh, you're paying more attention to her. No, it works out. You're the man. I mean, you have an endless smile.
You are too, but he is.
Thank you. Well, it's a treat being here.
He does seem like the happiest person in the room.
Look at him. He's like a little,
Why wouldn't I be?
little clam over there. He's like, I got 2 women. Woo, how many you got? Guy to my left, 0. That's all right. I don't have any either. I'm solo, Han Solo, Hand Solo.
So you having fun in Nashville?
Yes, I love Nashville. It's great. It's a great city. And you know what's funny is when I was growing up, I went to Western Kentucky University. Yeah, and so did my buddy Mike over there. Mike, say hello to Mike, everybody.
Hi, Mike.
And Nashville was cool, but Nashville wasn't this cool. Everybody wants to move to Nashville. All the actors are like, I'm getting a place in Nashville. It's pretty crazy. It's a great city. There's a lot of barbecue.
Yeah.
A lot of barbecue.
I love it. I don't know when it became like the bachelorette party capital of the world. That's been a recent thing.
Yes.
But they love it here.
It's a little too young for me.
Yeah.
You know, you go to places and you're like, oh.
When did that happen?
20-year-olds, great.
But what age do you think that hit you?
I don't know. You know, I'm 51 now. Can you believe it? 51. Yeah, I know. I look 50. Here's the thing: when you're like when you're 30, people will go, "How old are you?" And you're like, "Oh, I'm 30." And they're like, "Oh, you look like you're 25." And then they're like, "How old are you?" You're like, "I'm 40." Like, you look 35. Now it's like, "How old are you?" I'm 50. And they're like,
That's about right.
All right. You're 50. I'm like, do I look?
I don't think you look 51.
Thank you.
Not a day over 48, in my opinion.
I'd stay, look, as long as you look your age or younger, you're doing all right. So.
You ever see those people who stop at a certain age where they're like, I'm 25, I'm not getting any older than this? I think that's the wrong way to go because you're gonna look busted soon.
Every actor in Hollywood does that. I have friends that are like, they're still like 29, but they're like 44. Do I look good? I'm like, in dark lighting? Sure. You could pass for 30 in this lighting where I can hardly see you.
Yeah. So, since we're here to talk about Lex Luthor, let's set the table. Yeah, please get as comfortable as you want. This couch is beautiful, by the way. Don't you guys love the colors of this? It's
I'm colorblind. What color? Is this pink?
That is pink.
That's blue.
You're knocking it out of the park, man.
I am colorblind, but
I think it's the glasses that.
No, these are prescription. They're not
Oh,
colorblind glasses.
I just thought they were super like Hollywood cool.
No, but if you take them off, see.
So what's the one question that you always get asked as somebody who does a lot
Did
of
you
interviews?
shave your head? Yes. I shaved my head for 7 years every day that I filmed. Except the last episode when I came back, I said, you're getting me a bald cap because I'm not going to be, bald for 6 months while I'm trying to grow my hair out and work. So, but I shaved my head every day. Sometimes they would cut me. It's hard because I use a straight razor. And now they're like, I'm sorry. I'm like, what happened? And all of a sudden, I'm like, Hellraiser with blood dripping down my face. But it was worth it,
Yeah. Did you have any idea how strikingly handsome you'd be, though, as a bald guy?
I thought for sure I was going to get fired when we shot the pilot. Because I shaved my head and I got this little matrix attachment. It's like this little bump on my head. And I thought, I'm not hot like Tom Welling or Kristen Krug. They're all just beauties. And I'm like average looking. And I thought for sure I wasn't pretty enough to be in the WB. I thought they were gonna fire me. I swear to God, that's true. I thought they'd fire me. So I had to really put my skill into it.
What is it about, what do you think makes a bald person handsome? Like, some people can pull it off really well, some people can't. I think it's in the ears, personally. A lot of people think it's the shape of the skull.
I think it's the confidence, the swagger.
That's all it is?
No matter what you got, whether you're bald, you're not, whatever you got going on, it's you. You just gotta go with it. And if you show confidence, like, this is me. I don't give a shit.
Thruple guy, what's the tip? It's confidence, that's it?
I think it's the beard on that guy. He's got the hair, and he's, that's about all I'm gonna say right now.
So, you go and do a lot of conventions, and obviously there's so many people here who are excited to meet you today, but who's somebody in your career that you've met that you've been genuinely starstruck by?
I met Gary Oldman a few times.
Yes.
And that was a dream. I was starstruck. I remember I met him when I was doing Off-Broadway in New York, and he was at a restaurant, and I said, Mr. Oldman, I'm a big fan. I went to college in Kentucky, and I want to be an actor. And he goes, yeah, I've flown over Kentucky a few times. And I go, oh, okay, cool. He goes, you want to work with me? And I said, yeah. He goes, you will. I still haven't, but it's a young career. I did a movie with Keanu Reeves, and he was just on the podcast, my Inside of You podcast. He came over to the house, and he's like, Keanu, do you remember working with me? He goes, yes, you were in drag. And I go, yes, I was a transvestite in the movie. And he's like, I remember you. You hit on me. And I'm like, I was in character.
Wait, I don't remember Keanu in Sorority Boys.
No, that was another movie where I was in drag. See, this is, Sweet November I was in drag, Sorority Boys I was in drag.
By the way, can I tell you, you do not get enough credit for how funny Sorority Boys is. I believe that movie is highly underrated.
It really is a funny movie. Has anybody seen it? It's a ridiculous, fun movie. They don't make movies like that anymore. Too politically correct. What are you gonna do?
You're officially the only person I've ever met who's been in a dildo sword fight. So
yes. Thank you for bringing that up. Now those that wanted to see it are now not going to see it.
No, you have to see it.
You had to bring that up.
It's amazing.
That's a selling point? You're naughty, young lady. You are naughty.
Now, obviously when you meet fans, like what's the funniest fan interaction that you can recall?
Okay. I was at a convention once, and this is like when I first started Smallville, so the lines were huge, and I was excited. It's funny because I brought my grandfather to the con, and he's like, what the hell are all these people in line for? I said, they're here to see me. He goes, why the hell would they want to see you? I'm like, because I'm on a show. He's like, yeah, but this is ridiculous. What the? He didn't get it. It was so nice seeing my grandfather acknowledging that,
Just completely baffled.
Yeah, but this guy is waiting in line. Finally gets up to my table and he goes, Gene Hackman was the best Lex Luthor. And I go, I agree. And he goes, okay. It was just so weird, like he wanted to slam me or something. Gene Hackman's the best. Waited an hour in line to tell you that. I'm like, all right, well, I agree with you. In fact, if you watch the Inside of You podcast, behind the guest, there's a poster of Superman, the movie, signed by Gene Hackman, and Gene put, to the second best Lex Luthor. Love, Gene. And that made my life.
You've also become very well known as an interviewer. By the way, it's great to be able to interview a professional interviewer. I mean, I consider myself a professional interviewer, but you're a pro. He's so great at interviewing people, isn't he, everybody?
Thank you.
So good. So I wanted to ask.
Well, first of all, you want me to tell you, the secret is not to lose that inner child. So when I'm interviewing people, I'm not interviewing like I'm, Larry King. I'm talking to them like we would talk to people, like fans would talk to their guests. Like, I want to know about this. Do you ever get nervous? How do you learn your lines? And I ask questions about life, and so I just try to keep that inner child going and, think about questions that you guys would want to know. So that's sort of my style.
Yeah, and just be interested in them as people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I just had Billy D. Williams, Lando Calrissian.
That's so cool.
And he was epic. And at the very end of the interview, you could hear me go, did you have fun today? He's like, I had a lot of fun, Michael. And I said, would you sign my Lando doll? And he goes, I'd be happy to. See, so it was just, your legends. John Rhys Davies was on, and
He actually tickled me and my son. I don't know if you know, did he tickle you? He came up to us and just would jab a finger in our ribs and just try to tickle us.
I didn't know where that was going a second
No,
ago.
it wasn't anything dirty.
He jammed a finger in my rib.
This is my friend John. He tickled him too, didn't he? Yeah, he tickled us.
John Rhys with that voice of his, yes. He was so great. If you haven't listened to that episode, listen. He talks about Cialis, and he talks about diarrhea on the set of Raiders and how everybody got sick and he thought he was going to die. And it's a great interview.
I especially loved, I know we're supposed to be talking about Lex and we'll get to it, I promise everybody, but I loved your interview with Edward Furlong. It was so good, man.
So he talked about his drug addiction, talked about his life, and that's, I love when people are very forthcoming and honest and open, because we all have our demons, we all go through a lot of stuff, and he was just very, he was very present, and I really appreciate when my guests open up.
Yeah, no, and he's just wide open.
Yeah.
Now, this is hypothetical because it would clearly never be able to happen, but what would your first question be if you were given the opportunity to actually interview Lex Luthor?
You mean if I interviewed myself?
Just the guy, the actual Lex Luthor. Let's pretend it's Gene Hackman since he's clearly the best.
No, but the character himself, I like.
Yes.
The character. I would say, what was it really that made you turn? What was it really? And he would probably say, Clark. Clark lied to me. He kept lying to me, and everybody lied to me, and no one gave me a chance, and I tried to do the best I could, but they kept putting me in my father's shadow. They kept, and I think he really did try to be a good person, and when you push someone to a certain point, I guess bad things happen. And so that's what happened. But it was a sad, because I don't think people are born innately evil. Mm-hmm. I think he was pushed, and he faced a lot of adversity and a lot of deception and troubled childhood, and he didn't get the love and affection that a kid needs, like your daughter who's sleeping on your shoulder right now. She's bored, she doesn't know who I am. She's hoping for Nicholas Hoult to be here, who I also interviewed and was amazing. And you know what was cool about that interview? Nicholas Hoult says, you were my Lex Luthor. I grew up watching you. And I was like, awesome. And then I told James Gunn, why didn't you cast me? And he's like, oh. What are you gonna do?
So you think that it's just Clark that made him turn? You don't think it was like the alopecia or anything?
I don't think it had anything to do with hair loss. I don't think that has anything to do with it. I think it was just his upbringing and the people around him who didn't, trust him and didn't give him the love he deserved. And, I think it's nature versus nurture kind of thing. Mm-hmm. So I think he could have been good. I think he had good in him. And
isn't that the most disappointing thing when you see somebody who could be great and then they go to the dark side?
Yes, join me.
I know. Elon, Jesus. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
Yeah,
am I? I don't know.
Genius mind, and then all of a sudden, what the hell's happening?
Right. So, speaking of talking to Nicholas Hoult, if he thinks of you as, his Lex Luthor, was there anything from your performance that he said he's sort of tried to incorporate into his own? Did you guys talk about that at all?
Yeah, we did. I think ultimately, all I say, for me, I wasn't a comic books fan. I was a horror movie fan. I bought, Fangoria magazines and watched horror movies as a kid. I didn't leave my house. That was who I was. And for me, it was learn your lines and play this character as real and as grounded and as complex as you can, and you'll be fine. If you start to do a caricature and I'm evil and twirling your mustache, which he didn't have, but I think that's when you get into trouble, or when you start to emulate other actors, I'll be like Gene Hackman, I'll I just wanted to do it my way, and I wanted to play it genuine and real, and I hope that people appreciated it. Did you appreciate it? Yeah! Thank God! Thank the Lord!
Now, are there any props or memorabilia from the show that you still have to this day?
Yes, I stole everything from that set. I stole Lex Luthor a glass alcohol, like the glasses he drank out of at his bar. I stole the Zod jacket that they made for me. I stole the ship keys. I stole a jumpsuit that says Luthor Corps on the back. I stole the white Lex Luthor suit. I stole some other, I don't want to say I stole any of this stuff. I was given this stuff, but
it's okay if you just.
I kept a lot. I always thought, like in my mind, I always thought, if this is all you do and you never work again, and money's a problem, you can always sell shit. I thought in the back of my head, if this doesn't work out, if this acting thing doesn't work out, so I just had tons of stuff signed. But I mean, obviously, I only use that for charity and stuff like that.
And do you own any action figures of yourself?
Yeah, people have made things for me. I have cool statues. If you watch Talkville, the Smallville, it's a great show with Tom Welling, and there's a statue of me that this guy Santiago made, and people always make me stuff, and I'm like, it's cool. I always try to tell people, don't send me any more gifts, because ultimately you have to throw away a lot of them. I can't keep everything that people give me, so unless it's money. So no. But
you say no, like that's not true.
No, but I keep cool stuff, like stuff that, like I'm like, I want this. There's that stuff too.
You just have to make a decision. You have to say, is it that line, like that cool line? Is this cool enough that I get to keep it, or
is this cool enough? Or I send it to my mom.
Or yeah, I was gonna say, is this a Christmas present for
People
someone
have
else?
like artwork of Lex Luthor, and I send it to her, or you know, I enjoy it though. It's just to be able to play a character like this and also play the Flash on the Justice League. It's just like winning. It was cool, and I got the Flash at the same time I was doing Lex Luthor, and I went in for the audition, and I just read it a couple times. He goes, "Be more animated," and I go, "Hey, Batman! Hey, check it out, man! Hey, Hawkgirl, you've got great legs!" And I started just messing around, and then I left, and my agent goes, "Hey, you got the role of the Flash." And I didn't know how cool that would be until the show came out, Justice League, and you got Susan Eisenberg here, George Newberg, and you know, Maria's here, and it's a treat. But we had no idea that people would love the show so much. So it was cool to play a good guy and a bad guy at the same time. But it was easier to just walk in front of a microphone and not shave your head and just read the lines and then go home, and you know, so that was cool.
Now, I know you're really good friends with James Gunn, and now that it's kind of established that his DCU is going to, like the movies and the animation and the video games, all that's going to be connected, would you want to sort of play Wally West again, like voice him again in animation, or would you be more interested in tackling another character?
You know, I'm always up for a challenge. I'm always up for fun. You know, whatever comes to me, I look at, and if it's not too silly, or if it makes me laugh, or I think I could do a really good job, or I think I can make an impression, I'll do it. Mm-hmm. So I'm at that point in my career where I just want to do the things that I love, that I want to do. But you know, obviously, I'd love to work with my buddy James again, and you know, I asked him, why am I not in Superman? Why am I not in the movie somehow?
You're not even a little cameo or nothing?
No, it was fine. No, it was fine. I didn't. I wish him all the happiness. He deserves all the success he has. He's enormously talented, and when it's the right thing, he'll ask me.
Right.
You know, or he won't. And that's just, but that's aside from friendship, you know. Mm-hmm. When your friends go off to do big things, you just say, hey, they know I'm here. They know my number. And you just hope for the best.
Speaking of hoping for the best, if Martinez ever made another appearance in the MCU, would that be something you'd be up for?
Sure.
If James wasn't involved?
To play a Ravager. I mean, the role was supposed to be a lot bigger, and they cut a lot out.
What was something that they cut out?
Well, you were supposed to see Martinez. It was written in the script to see his powers, the powers that he had, which were really cool. But they had so much to sort of talk about in the script that they ended up cutting it out at the end, and there was some other stuff. But you know, it was fun. For me, it's like, oh, I'm working with my friends. I get paid. I'm in a big Marvel movie. Life could suck worse. You know what I mean? I'm very grateful.
Did they ever come to you about voicing the character for the What If series?
No one's ever.
Because I think he made an appearance, but I don't remember if he said anything. Or
Yeah,
not.
I don't know. Well, why don't you talk to my agents?
I will. We got to get to the bottom of this.
Man.
We got to get you some more work as Martinez.
Yeah, Martin X.
Am I saying
you
it
said
wrong?
Martinez.
Martinez. I'm saying it very
like he just
like
came
Spanish.
from Cuba. Martinez.
Yeah.
Look at Martinez.
It's Martin X this whole time. I've been saying it wrong. It's just one of those.
I think it's Martin X, isn't it?
Is it Martin?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Thank
it's
you.
one of those names that I feel like I read it all the time and I never say it out loud until this very moment, and then I just took a swing.
Martinez.
I like that. I like to say things like Antonio Banderas might say it.
Lex Luthor.
Lex Luthor.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sí, bienvenidos a los Estados Unidos, Lex Luthor.
I don't know what you just said, but it was sexy.
You know, one time Regis Philbin on Regis and Kathy Lee or whatever, I went on their show, and I remember him looking at me and he goes, "Sexy Lexi, baby. Gonna be a big star, this kid, Sexy Lexi." And I was like, oh my God, Regis called me Sexy Lexi. This is fantastic. You can find that interview.
Oh, I'm gonna look it up on YouTube right after
No,
this.
you won't.
Yes, I will. I swear.
Will you?
I'll look it up right now.
No, don't look it up now.
Okay, all right, I will. This is my wife right here. She's gonna make.
You're
me
the
look it up.
wife?
Yeah, she's my wife. Hi, everybody. This is Brooke, my wife.
Hi, Brooke.
We're gonna watch it together on the way home.
all right.
She's gonna hold me accountable.
All right.
All right, so we're about to go to fan questions, right? You guys
Yes.
got a lot of questions.
Let's have we better have some good questions here.
Start raising your hands if you got some questions. We'll go around. But my last question before we get to audience questions.
Yeah.
You ever met anybody that's got a tattoo of you?
Yes, I've had women come up to me and ask me to sign their boob, and I say I can't do that because I'll,
Get canceled?
no, because then everybody will know I signed your boob. And no, but I've tattooed a couple of people with my signature, and I say, do not get my signature tattooed, and they do it anyway, and I'm like, I'm honored, but I'm also like, why would you want that? But hey, it could, at least get Martinez.
Martinez. Right down there.
What was it like working on Guardians of the Galaxy 2?
Can you guys hear him?
What was it like working on
Is your mic
Guardians
working?
2?
Hold on a second. Guardians of the Galaxy 2 is great. A lot of the fun was a lot of my friends.
Stallone?
Well, Stallone was amazing. I had him sign my Rambo lunchbox last day, and he goes, he looks at me and goes, "Hey, what the hell is this?" I say, "That's my Rambo lunchbox." He goes, "You got a Rambo lunchbox? How old are you?" I said, "I'm like 47, 48 at the time." He goes, 48 years old, you got a Rambo lunchbox. Look, I'll sign it, but something's wrong with you. But he was a blast, man. Stallone was so fun to work with, and I would goof on him. He would always be joking about stuff. Like there was one scene where I had this line, and it was the first line of the scene. Once he says action, I start talking, and Stallone's babbling about something. He's looking around on set, and he's like, look at this ship. They got rust. You'd think in the future they'd be able to cure rust. And I goes, fly, would you shut the hell up? I got a freaking line here. He goes, all right, look, calm down, all right? He was a blast, man. He was so fun.
Hi, I'm bothering you again.
You can bother me all the time.
So, in Justice League, there are several episodes where the Flash does not appear. Are there any of those stories where you wish the Flash would appear?
I don't know. One thing with me is I don't watch a lot of episodes of things that I've been in. I don't, it takes a while. Like sometimes I'll be dating a girl and she'll go, let's watch this movie. I'm like, no. She goes, why? I'm like, because I'm in it. She goes, so? I go, well, watch it yourself. It's uncomfortable for me to be in there and then I'm just like thinking, oh, does she like it? Am I embarrassing myself? I don't like to do that. So the funny thing with the Talkville rewatch podcast is I have to watch every episode and I never saw most of them. So it's wild to see, but...
Are you somebody who enjoys watching your performance, or does it make you cringe?
I mean, there's some episodes where I'm like, I know I'm good. And when you know you're good, you can watch it and go, all right, this is cool.
Yeah.
But I try not to watch myself too much.
Yeah, I hate watching
People
myself
think,
back.
oh, he's narcissistic. He watches himself. It's not like you walk in my house and there's posters of me everywhere.
Just action figures.
There's some action figures.
Your mom's
but
house.
it's in the
They're all at your
podcast
mom's
room
house.
or the office. I don't put them around the house.
Got you.
Yeah.
What other questions we got? Raise your hands, everybody. Who?
We got people in the back. We got Hulk Hogan over here.
Whoa, there's a Hulk Hogan? Oh yeah, that's what's up.
What are
brother.
you gonna do, Earthquake? Oh, he doesn't. Hulk doesn't have a question.
I thought it was kind of funny in one of the Justice League episodes. Wally switches bodies with Lex Luthor. Yeah. So it's kind of like playing Lex twice. I don't know. I thought that was cool.
Yeah, it was called The Great Brain Robbery, and Clancy Brown and I, changed voices with the Lex and the Flash.
Yeah.
It was a blast because I didn't know what the hell I was doing. It was so weird. And I remember in the recording room, Andrea Romano, who's the best director ever, she was directing us, and I was just sitting there with Clancy, and we were just going back and forth how he would read lines, and it was a blast. I loved that episode. I thought it was really fun.
Right. Who we're going to next? All right.
Hey, so how much of your lines would you say are improv, or you always stick to the
For
script?
the Flash,
And any of your work.
I like when people ask me to improvise a little. Once we get it, I like to can I add a few things? Can I do this? With Lex Luthor, it was harder. I would add some stuff, but it was more of a serious character, so you don't want to improvise as much. But when it's comedy, you can sort of add things and enhance the role a little bit.
So you say you would like to do it the way, in the script first, and then afterwards.
Yeah, once we have it, let me do it. We call it a Rosenbaum. Let me do a Rosenbaum. So,
Except it's spelled B-O-M-B at the end, right?
well,
A
hopefully
Rosenbaum.
not. Then you
Yeah.
bomb. That's not good.
Hi, how was it playing Lex Luthor on Smallville?
Where the heck are you?
Oh, they're over here. Yep.
You can't see my tall self
Also, guys,
Oh,
it's,
yeah.
it's a little hard to hear in that microphone. If you can make sure you speak up.
talking.
Hi, how was it playing Lex Luthor on Smallville?
It was awesome. It was, I didn't realize when I was playing it how cool it actually was. It took years before I realized how important of a character it is in the mythology and the comic books, and it's such a cool character because he's so dynamic and complex. Like, you get to see why I became bad, right? You get to see his upbringing in the meteor shower and his friendship with Clark, and I thought it was so interesting and so cool to play a character like that. It was the most complex, dynamic character I've played, and I'm grateful. I think it was an amazing character to play. It was. And it made me feel like I could do anything. If I could do this guy, I could play any role. So that was cool.
Awesome. Thank you for your question.
Hi, first off, I love your Halloween Horror Nights jacket. It's so cool.
I like my horror.
What year is that from?
Oh, I just got it.
Oh, nice.
No, I got this like 3 years ago. I go to Universal Horror Nights every year with all my friends.
Yeah.
Is that what it says?
Yeah.
Oh.
That's not what it says. That's the style with the Frankenstein.
You're right. It's probably 2021.
Okay.
Thank you for knowing that.
I know a lot about Halloween.
You're very smart.
Thank you.
Yes.
So my question for Lex, Smallville's incredible, foundational for my love of Superman, love of Lex. But if you had to write a storyline for Lex Luthor, what would be your ideal storyline for Lex in Smallville?
If I could write a storyline for Lex Luthor, it would definitely be making love to Lana Lang. It would be an episode where he was show a little more diabolical, but also show the good side, kind of like the episode Onyx where I split in half. I'd love to play, again, the word dynamic, to play big, to play subtle, to play sexy, to play all these things in one episode. Maybe he's protecting Lana or something.
I think that you're thinking too small with Thruple right here. I think that it should be Lana and Lois.
Well, that would be something. That would be
Some fan fiction, not for the
that would
children.
be some fan fiction.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's out there.
Martha? How dare you? Did you say Martha? This guy throws out Martha, Mrs. Kent. That is disrespectful to the Kent family, to the Luthors.
Not bad.
So we talked earlier and...
Talk louder.
Sorry. So you're definitely the best Lex Luthor of all time. Yes.
Thank you.
And
Thank you very much. Do you agree? Oh, wait a minute. This guy goes, who do you think's the best one?
Oh, Jesse Eisenberg.
He's joking. The guy's joking. I like Jesse though. He's a great guy.
and my question is...
Army of Darkness, you got the Ash doll. That was one of my favorite interviews. I interviewed Bruce Campbell a few times. He was a blast. All right, go ahead.
My question is...
I love how you're filming me and asking me this question. You can play Lex Luthor, sir. You got a good head.
Not the first different dynamics that you had, and just that was really cool.
But just how you're such a good villain, but also you have such a good side too, where it's like you're like, do I love him? Do I hate him?
Right.
What was your favorite like intense scene as far as dynamics, emotions in Smallville?
There was when I was going crazy, when I was in the sanitarium or whatever. My father put me in there in a straitjacket, and I was all drugged up and playing this. That was really tough, and I wanted it to be vulnerable and I wanted it to be intense. There were just moments. There were moments when Clark jumps in front of the car, and I'm all crazed out. I'm like, whoa. That was awesome. I love moments when he can when he snaps, like in Onyx, where he's like, where's the real Lex? And he's just like, I am the real Lex! I scared you, didn't I? And I love it because, I channeled, I love my dad, but my dad had, like, when he got angry, his voice scared me more than anything. He'd be like, stop doing that. What did I tell you? What did I tell you? And then and then that's what I channeled, that feeling I had when I was a kid. It's like, oh, how do I do that? And so it was easy for me to jump in to being angry, to being emotional, they say the best thing you could do as an actor is have lived and have had emotions and have had experiences. And so for me, I was ready for that role because I had a lot of experiences, and I just channeled those experiences through childhood and life and used them to play the character. All right, who's got the next question? Thank you. Oh, you're over there. I see you in your yellow shirt. It could be green, I don't know. Whatever you want to do. What are you gonna do, Earthquake, when the world's largest heads come crashing down on you in WrestleMania 5? Go ahead, sorry.
I was wondering, putting a kind of ask this question, but like, what were some of your favorite scenes in Smallville to film whenever you're in the process of filming?
Again, Onyx, where I split in half, and I'm with the Kents, and I'm like, Mr. Kent, start giving me answers before something happens. Boom! And I shoot him, like that. Like little moments of craziness. I love Lexmas. I love when you saw the soft side of like, this is the life he could have had. This is like, he's in love with this woman and they have a kid and he's a good dad, and it's a shame that it didn't really happen. Like somebody actually unconditionally loved him. That was sad. That was tragic. All right, next question.
So like you said, you're going...
You have a deeper voice than I would have anticipated. You look at him, I thought he was like, okay, so... He was like, all right, here's the deal. Here's what I'm gonna ask you.
Like you said, you're going through Smallville again. What would your favorite episode be so far in that rewatch?
I don't know. I love the pilot, because the pilot is so big and it just gets you into the show. And it just, they're always, is my zipper down? All right. And it just always, it's like that's the opening episode to the show. And it's what, I guess, made me famous in a way. It's what made us all famous. It's what gave us our careers. And that one is always special, just the pilot. I booked the pilot. And I knew if it all went to hell, at least I was shooting one episode of Smallville. And I loved how it turned out.
How strict were they about the script? Like, were you allowed to add to it? Were they super
A little bit. It depends. If I was losing my mind or doing things, I would say things off the cuff. I would do things. I remember, this is not about me, but I was acting with this actor who was on the X-Files, and usually nobody messes with me. I usually throw things at them and they're just like, you know. But this guy, this actor, I said something and my character, I just kind of go, I just kind of like laughed at him, and he just improvised. He goes, "Don't laugh at me," and I just go. And it was awesome. The look on my face was like real, because I was like, did this guy just like bark at me? And I didn't break character. I stayed right in it. It was a great moment, and I love those kind of moments. If you're looking just to improvise, it doesn't work. But when you are in something and something comes to you, that's magic. That can be magic. All right, next question. Are you asking people questions in here too? Just a rhinestone cowboy.
So you got a really extensive history with the DC properties. So my question would be, if James Gunn offered you the opportunity to play a live-action character, hero or villain, who would you pick?
I don't know, man. I feel like I could play any villain. Once you play like Lex Luthor, all those emotions and the intensity, it's about grounding whatever character that is. It's like finding the moments. It's the subtleties. It's all these intricacies of a character. I believe I could play any character. I mean, I really feel like I could play anything just about. Mr. Gold? Booster Gold. Who's Booster Gold? Booster Gold. Well, couldn't they come up with a cooler name?
For real.
Now,
Booster Gold?
Booster's a cool character.
He sounds like some guy you meet at the bar. Hey, is Booster Gold gonna be there? Yeah, he's coming in. He usually has a beer. He's sitting in the corner. Hey, Booster! What's going on, man?
Yeah, that's pretty accurate.
Is that how he is?
He gets beat up a lot.
He gets beat up. I don't want to get beat up a lot.
Beat up by Nashville.
So,
All right.
Michael, I have another question for you.
Yeah.
To follow up on that, who would be, outside of Lex Luthor, who do you think another Superman villain would you be the most interested in playing? Like, who do you find the most interesting outside of Lex?
Outside of Lex, give me some choices.
Like the Metallo,
Don't know him.
Brainiac,
I know him.
Bizarro,
I don't really know.
Cyborg Superman, Zod, yeah, Zod's a good one.
I don't know. I don't think any of those characters are as cool as Lex Luthor.
No, they're not.
Not even close. So
So
if I could play a superhero character instead of a villain, I think it'd be cool to play Batman, wouldn't it? Because anybody can really play Batman, can't they? Watch. I mean, if you just close your eyes. Thruple, close your eyes. I'm Batman. Do you like that version or this one? I'm Batman.
I like the first one.
I'm Batman. I'm Batman. See, I mean, anybody, as long as you talk like that, you can do it. Ready? I'm Batman. Ready, sir? I'm Batman. Oh! There it is.
Wait, you gotta ask Batman sitting behind him.
Oh, yeah.
There's an actual Batman here.
I'm Batman. Give me an I'm Batman.
Alright, first off,
I'm Batman. Which role did I prefer, Lex or Flash? I like them both. Lex is a more dynamic character. It's larger than life. I like Lex. I love the Flash, but the Flash was easy to play. It wasn't as challenging as Lex to I mean, you wake up 4 in the morning, you shave your head, an hour and a half later, you're on set, you're working the lines, you're shooting scenes all day for 12, 16 hours, you're finding the character, you're finding what works. It's exhausting, it's challenging, it's, you know, so, but the Flash is, the older I get, Flash, because it's easier. But another Baldy.
Oh yeah. For your speech, your inauguration speech in Smallville, did you need a prompter for it?
Well, it's funny because it was a joke. They came on set one day and, you know, they had the presidential stand or whatever as a podium. Thank you, Frupple. And they're like, all right, you're gonna give this speech. And I go, all right, where are the teleprompters? And they're like, we don't have teleprompters, you're supposed to learn your lines. I'm like, I'm the president of the United States giving a speech. They use teleprompters. And they didn't have teleprompters. So I just sort of like, will look down, say a few lines, and then go, blah, 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah. So, and then they hardly used any of it anyway, but I wasn't gonna learn 3 pages of dialogue, a speech, if I'm the president. What president memorizes his lines? Certainly not the 2 candidates we have now.
I think we got time for one more question.
I'm over here now.
All right.
Hi. My question is, are there any animated projects possibly that are a continuation of Smallville happening anytime soon?
Tom and I are working on a Smallville animated series that we're trying to get made. It's gonna take time, but the creators of Smallville are attached. They want to be a part of it, and we, you know, when it's the right time, we'll pitch it. You know, been working on it, and we have some loose animation that we've worked with someone who was just it looks great. So if we can get that made, that'd be awesome.
Great question. Thank you so much.
And also, I'm doing a really cool voice. I can't talk about it. And it's a video game, and I'm doing a voice in a video game. But
you brought it up. You can't even say what it is.
I'll get in trouble because I signed an NDA.
Okay. All right. We don't want you to get sued or anything. Yeah, that's cool. Well, thank you so much for being here, guys. Everybody,
wait, is that it?
Yeah, we're done. It's
One more question.
One more question. We got one more
Better
question.
be good. Who's got the best question?
Whoever raises their hand the highest.
Who's got the biggest question? All right, that guy he better have a great question.
He's got a great shirt.
You got a shirt that says Michael Rosenbaum is the greatest Lex Luthor.
Fight me.
Fight me.
That's a great shirt.
That's a great shirt.
Jesse Eisenberg, the guy says.
My question's a little nostalgic, and it has to do more with the Flash than with Lex. And what it is you worked with a lot of great voice actors. Did you get the opportunity to work with and speak with, maybe on a personal level, with Kevin Conroy?
Kevin, I worked with him a lot, and there's not enough you can say about him as a human being alone. I mean, he's an enormous talent, enormous actor. And he was just, but his heart. I saw the way he was with his fans, and he really took the time to, if someone came up crying, saying, you know, my dad and I, it was our show together, and Kevin would hold their hand and talk to them, and he didn't know anyone was watching, but I was watching. And, you know, they always say that the real heroes are the heroes, the people that show real humanity when the cameras aren't rolling. So it's easy to be like, oh look, hey, I'm being nice to someone when the cameras are on me. But when there's just a moment between you and that person, that's the beauty, that's life, that's humanity. And he was that guy. And you know, I think that's the way to be. If people could just be, you know, present and show empathy and an understanding. I think, you know, we're all different, but we're all, you know, we're all going to the same place. So anyway, but thank you guys. This has been great. Really appreciate it. I'll be signing today and tomorrow for a little while. And all right.